So I bought this book because I found it for an amazing price, like $10, because as you can see, it's kind of damaged. In my opinion, it might have been damaged maybe by the mailman, because today they put these envelopes that are very, very thin, and so sometimes the mailman, when they push the mail into the box, they push it hard, and that's the result. Obviously, the person who bought it before me probably found out that he didn't like to have this kind of thing on a new book, right? Especially if you pay more than $25. I paid like 10, so, or 9 something, so for me it was perfect. But I understand that they were not able to sell it like that. In any case, this book, why did I buy this book? Obviously because I don't know anything about Gukesh. I understand that he's an amazing player, 18 years old, and is the world champion challenger. Probably will become world champion at that age, so the youngest world champion of all time. And of course, I wanted to know a little more about him. This the writer, like Dawala, has written tons of books, more than 70, and so he was smart enough to give us a preview of this young player from India that is clearly amazing. The book has 70 games. They are not arranged in chronological order, because obviously the guy is 18, it doesn't make any sense. But they are arranged in different chapters, starting with chapter 1, I think, games against world champions. This is chapter 5. I want to show you game 49, played between D Gukesh against a Suleimanli at the Sharia Masters 2022. Gukesh started with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, knight c3, and h6. What? Surely it's better to just develop the bishop to e7. But apparently this is a real line at the time of writing, with a staggeringly high 1490 games in the database. The move did, though, have the effect of provoking Gukesh. I don't know how he knows that. So maybe Gukesh released an interview where he said that he was provoked by this move. I don't know. g3, bishop d6. Apparently this is black's main move. Why not filtering down so much to the club level? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to the club level, because guess what? Club level would play this next. So why do you play there? And also, why it doesn't make any sense? Because you are putting the bishop in something that is already blocked. I don't know. This is a new setup grandmasters have been experimenting with in the Queen's Gambit decline, with an early h7, h6, and black's bishop developed to d6 rather than the traditional e7 square. And now white played a3. Okay, I freely admit I don't understand this move. Why is white expanding a move in the opening to prevent bishop b4, when black already decided to post the dark square bishop on d6? The reason may be that it's a waiting move, hoping that black castle next. More natural is bishop g2, obviously. No? The problem with this move is that, of course, if you play this, then how do you play this that it's all blocked, right? So that's what he's saying. And so it doesn't make any sense to play bishop g2, because then you cannot play the push. But what I'm really asking here, for example, he asked why this move. But in my opinion, and this is the problem with writers of this high caliber, like Dawala or Haver, because like Dawala is an international master, but his level of understanding of the game is grandmaster strength, right? So the problem is that at club level, one would have played this move, right? So why he doesn't explain why this move is wrong? Because in my opinion, you would need to explain this move. But I'm sure at club level they would play. Why? Do you know why? Because this is very similar to a London system, but we don't have a bishop on f5, where white plays bishop d3 and black has the pawn on c5 and generally play c4. So I think this should have been explained. Okay, a3 castle and g4. And here it says, hey, don't you realize that barbarians and Athens are disallowed entry into heaven? Not really sure about that. I don't know. It's a theological understanding, but okay. The moves from both sides go from the barely plausible to the what the hell stage. Now the question arises, is Gukesh radical last move dramatic? Packaging for a worthless product? According to Stockfish, the idea is sound. The ideas. 1. White clearly wants to pry open the G file with an eventual push to G5. The fact that black played H7, H6 benefits white, since now there is a confrontation point on the G5 square. Okay, club level players call this the hook, because it gives you a hook to open the file, right? And here it says 2. Black can of course just take the pawn with the f6 knight. But it's not for free, since white gains time and the G file is open for white rook. Okay? Three, white is technically lagging in development, so the move is in violation of the principle don't begin an attack when you are the one behind in development. Yeah, but you know what I think? I think that today most players are playing against computers all the time, especially these young players, that they must get ready for these big competitions. And so the computer has shown that probably sometimes it doesn't make sense to continue with all that I must castle and connect the rooks and this is the end of the opening. Yeah, interesting, but it's not valid anymore, and the computer has proven so, probably, right? In any case, black played the wrong move, it seems, because he played knight takes g4. But here in the book it says Magnus demonstrated the correct response for black, which is to decline the offer with knight e4. And then there is queen c2, and here it says Gukesh D, Carlsen, Magnus, Speed Chess Blitz in 2022. Okay, but this doesn't explain much, right? Is this game played before this game that Gukesh is playing now at the Sharia Master, or it was played after? If it was played after, we should think that Carlsen has seen the game at the Sharia and has created an improvement that he tried in Blitz in order to see what happens. If it was played before, then strangely Gukesh didn't make an improvement, so that doesn't make much sense, right? Or maybe he had an improvement if black played the correct move, and this is the part I don't understand, but I believe the author could have explained it better. Okay, and here it says, here instead of pushing the f pawn to f5, which allows white to open the g file, Carsten should play. Okay, so Carsten should play, it means that Carsten played f5, so at least give a little the line to understand what happened in that game, because I don't have it, honestly. At least, yeah, I could look in chess base and see if it was put in the mega base, okay? However, Carsten should play knight takes c3. So, to me, the understanding is that Carsten played this in that game, right? And it wasn't the right move. Boom. Let's see, after knight takes c3, there is queen takes c3, c5, give an exclamation point, d takes c5, bishop takes c5, g5, and queen b6, with insane complication, no worse for black. Okay, very interesting. Thank you for this thing. Let's return to the position. Okay, so this was the position, and Suleimanli played knight takes g4 instead of knight e4. Of course, white played rook g1, obviously, and now black played e5. Again, it seems that this opening is played a lot, because here it says the only move, black relied on the principle meet the opponent's wing attack with a central counter. In this case, it isn't enough. But he quotes a game which was a5, h3, h5, played by Gigaev M against Duda J, titled Tuesday International Open, 14th of June, early Internet Blitz in 2023. So 1 year after the game played by Gukesh and Suleimanli. So let's see what happens here, right? After f5, h3, h5, wow. Here it says white has a winning position if he declines the sacrifice on g4 and plays. So I ask you, can you find the right move for white in this position? Because obviously it would make sense to take on g4, right? Well, the author doesn't give us this line on g4. It gives us only the winning line, which is c takes d5, maybe because it's found by the computer. E takes d5, knight takes d5, bishop e6, and knight c3. And here he said that white has a winning position. But he didn't show us why white shouldn't take on g4, okay? So now let me return back to the position that was. Okay, so in the game e5 was played, and now again you are white. Try to put yourself in white shoes and try to find what is the right continuation. How should white continue from this position? Okay, now imagine Gukesh is probably already 2600 at this point. He doesn't find the right move, the best move. He plays c takes d5, but the best move is d takes c5. Why did I tell you to pause? Because this is a typical position, no? This is a typical position in the middle game or in a tournament game that you can have, where you have all these possibilities to take and you don't know which one is the right one. You also have move like this, h3, right? I don't know. But you understand the point. when you have this kind of position, you waste a lot of time to find the right move. And so I think we should try to do this kind of position at home, because if we do these positions at home, we actually learn the game and become stronger when we have a tournament game. Okay, so after d takes e5, that wasn't played in the game, but it was found maybe by Stockfish, knight takes e5, bishop takes h6, knight takes f3, e takes f3, bishop e5, f4, queen h4, f takes c5, queen takes h6, and knight takes d5. Here the evaluation is not given in the book. You can see it, it's kind of here. There is no evaluation at the end. I think maybe white is winning. That's why he didn't put the evaluation. But again, for whom is this book written? For club players that are not strong like Stockfish. Why do I tell you Stockfish? Because this is about 5 moves deep. I think in a game with long-term control, only a top GM can find 5 moves ahead like this. Top GM, okay? Someone like Gukesh, someone like Carlsen, they should be able to find it. Normal human beings, I don't think so. As you can see, the position was quite complicated because there were a lot of possible takes and moves. And also here you can see it, all these exchanges, this queen h4. I'm sorry, this is typically engine produced, right? I'm not criticizing the offer or the engine, but I'm saying as a human being, as an average club players, do I really find this? And I'm immediately able to tell you the evaluation? Probably not, right? But of course, here there is this, but attack this. These 3 are stop there. So sometimes, why do we buy books? Because we don't want a evaluation in the style of the informant or informator, I don't know what they call it, that series of Yugoslavian professional game collections that were printed every 6 months, right? We want an evaluation by pros where the author explain to us what's going on here. No? And we don't want to open our engine, right? Because the engine is a crutch that doesn't explain anything apart giving us a number. Let me return back to the position. Okay, so this was the position. Like I told you, there were a lot of possibilities. And Gukesh played 9, c takes d5. Notice another thought which comes to mind. If Gukesh cannot find the right move at move 9, it means this is not theory. Because if it was theory, he would have known that d takes e5 was the right move, right? Which make me think another thing that the author could have told us. It seems that today they don't choose the strongest line, the most theoretical line, on purpose to put really to test the opening preparation of the opponent. But doing so means that they are also not really well prepared. At least this is what makes me think, right? In any case, after c takes d5, black plays rook e8, and also here it seems that maybe this was better, and Lakdawala gives a line. After this there is knight e4, but Lakdawala says this is not the best move, so he says neither side is finding the optimal moves. Now try to pause the video again and try to see what you would play as white. It seems the best move for white was bishop h3, and he says it's clearly in white favor, followed by h5, bishop takes g4, bishop takes g4, d takes e5, bishop takes e5, knight takes e5, rook takes e5, h3, wow, bishop takes h3, and then plays bishop f4, and notice this move is really interesting because it seems that the next move is this one and is decisive for white. Decisive for white. Okay, so let me go back to the position where we were. I think here we should have had a diagram after move 9 or before move 9. Why? Because clearly it's kind of a critical moment in the game and we are just at move 9. Okay, so this was the position. It seems the best move was bishop h3, but white played knight e4, which seems it's a dubious move. Of course, we can see that grandmasters are very kind people and very compassionate, because also black answer with the wrong move, which is bishop f8. It seems that black had to play bishop f5, and here Lakdawala gives another line for black. So what happens after bishop f5? That white takes. So why the move bishop f5 was difficult to find? Because today in grandmaster's mind is ingrained the idea that you must not give up the bishop pair. This idea is probably due to the fact that they have played endless games against engines, and generally when an engine in a game is able to take away from the opponent the bishop pair and is able to keep the bishop pair, it's a slaughter. I had once one of these little computers that was with the name of Karpov, and it did that all the time, and it killed me. And it killed me not at a level that was thinking like 1 minute per move. It was just thinking like 5 seconds per move, and it was still killing me. In any case, after c takes d6, other ugly position in a sense because it's a backward pawn, but maybe get resolved, there is h3, knight f6, d takes c5, d takes c5, bishop takes h6, and bishop g6. And he says here is still okay for black. Okay, so it's still okay, but I don't know, is it okay? And what does it mean to be okay? Generally, the isolated queen pawn, it's kind of important, a kind of advantage sometimes. Who knows? Who knows? But will white be able to keep it? We will lose it? A lot of questions, right? A lot of questions. Yeah, as you can see, sometimes some lines are given that are not so So clear, no? Because here I would like Lagdawala to give me an explanation. He says this is gonna fall, period. And so white has no advantage. Plus, you see all these open lines attacking. He has the king in the center, while this is still defended well. Again, why this? Because to whom goes this book? To professional chess player or to amateurs? And so that's my take on this. Now, let's go back to the position that it was. Okay, honestly, you know one thing, guys, while putting back the position, I realize, look at here, everything is on the 4th rank. Yeah, maybe this wasn't the best move, but it has the advantage that is bringing the pieces toward black, right? So toward the enemy territory. So in this sense, I would say it's already good, the position for white. In any case, black played bishop f8. As you can notice, we are 25 minutes into this video and we just have made 10 moves. But the point is, it doesn't make any sense to play fast and not understand anything about this game, right? So if you were white now, what would you play? Every turn of this game you need to ask yourself this, otherwise you're wasting time watching this video. Instead, if you try to guess the move, you are learning something. So the move was h3. And now, imagine the amazing move by black, which is e takes d4, queen takes d4. That's another very interesting move, because now everything is really attacking g7. I think, I don't know, to me, already at this point, black is really going badly. Here it says, the g4 knight hangs and there is no safe place for its retreat. Yeah, there is no safe place because 1, 2, and this is a pin once you move the knight, right? So black played queen e7, and now it's your turn again to find the right move for white. What would you play if you were white? Knight c3 is the right move. So why did I tell you that? Because generally these kind of retreating moves are very, very difficult to find, very difficult to see, right? And black continue with knight e5. It shows a line with c5 and says that at the end, after 3-4 moves, this black down a pawn with an inferior position. So this is the move. Obviously white takes, queen takes, queen takes, rook takes, and I guess now you know what's gonna happen, right? It's obviously bishop takes h6. Black is busted. 1, down a pawn. 2, black's entire queenside pieces remain undeveloped. 3, white owns a massive pawn center. Okay? So that's the reason this position is probably with a decisive advantage for white. But now you need to be able to convert this advantage into a win. How do you do that? So rook h5, bishop f4, c6. Here try to work out why bishop takes h3 is hopeless for black. I will show you, however, okay? So after bishop takes h3, there is rook h1, and obviously you play this, right? But after this, oops, And as you can see, white still has the advantage. Okay, the advantage here is black still not finished the development. The central pawn advance, especially this one that it seems is isolated, but is not, because at a certain point white will be able to support it, right? This is a big advantage at this point. Okay, let's go back. Yeah. Okay, I think I put everything as it was. We saw that black doesn't equalize if he plays bishop takes h3. In the game he played c6. After c6, what would you play if you were white once more? Rook d1. Gukesh, unconcerned about the h3 pawn, activates a sleeping piece. Now white's development lead, coupled with central control, is decisive. Okay, bishop takes h3. No creeps its ways to yes. This is the I will reclaim what is mine response. I suppose a condemned prisoner about to be executed isn't going to worry about calories in the last meal. This makes matters worse since black falls fatally behind in development, but not taking the pawn is also losing for black. Now watch Gukesh pieces swoop in. Okay, let's watch. Knight e4, threatening the fork here. Okay. Rook f5. And here you must work out what happened if you were white and he played this or this. Okay. There are the lines in the book, but I'm sorry guys, we are like 32 minutes in the video and I'm afraid that I lost some subscribers because probably they kill themselves from the boring slowness of this game. I don't know. Let me know if you like it or not. Okay. Bishop takes h3, rook takes f4, and now there is an amazing move by white. Try to find it out. The move is bishop c8, after which if you play, let's say, a5 to escape, what happens is bishop takes b7, right? And then you play this to attack the bishop, but oops. And in any case, black has lost, okay? So that's a very interesting situation. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, a beautiful game. Imagine, this is just 21 moves, so it's a miniature. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I didn't bore you to death with all these lines. So this is the book Gukesh, from boy to man to challenger. In any case, I got it because I wanted to know something about this amazing player, okay? And all the best to him ending for the World Championship. Thank you very much.